Today I want to talk about my book, Why the White Man Rules. I wanted to do a little promo on my book. Um, this is it, Why the White Man Rules. It's a book it describes reality today, and it's a book that tells you what reality is all about from God's perspective. What God says reality is about, which is the truth. In all honesty, I could actually say that God wrote this book, not me. And I'm just here presenting it to the world as the standard of truth yet to be challenged. And the reason why I'm doing this promo is because my book promoter, Donna K. Allen, she's an excellent book promoter, wanted me to do a spot on my book and to show everybody the author with his book. And I'm just showing it with you, let you know that I'm Nathaniel Leonard Jackson Jr. This is my book, Why the White Man Rules, and I'm here presenting the truths of reality. And you see any of my other videos, you know that I'm speaking on things that have to deal with what's going on in our day in regards to God's word and his truth and his reality and his existence and everything that has to do with him. I show today how that is relevant to our world and what we're living in, and the things that we're going through is all related to who God is and what he has said. And if anybody's been paying attention to the world, you've been seeing how these riots and this rebellion and all of this violence in America and over in Europe, in England, is starting to become an issue with the white man. And in my book, Why the White Man Rules, it tells you who the white man is. The white man is Israel, God's chosen people. And in my book, I tell you why that's the truth. And God explains that he gave his people promises that he has fulfilled today in this world, and they are testimony to his existence. And when we look at these promises, we see our reality. And the most people in this world, it's a reality that we do not like, because there's certain people that's in control. And that's one of the promises of God to his people, Israel. You will inherit the nations. But I take issue with God's people, Israel, the white man, because of the promises of God to him that he's not even aware of, that he possesses. He's not even aware of who he is. And he don't know how to take care of what God has given him, because he's not aware that God has given it to him and that they belong to him. And the things that he's going through is because of his ignorance of who he is and what he should be doing in God. God promised Abraham his descendants would be many nations, commonwealth of nations. That's England. England is known as a commonwealth of nations. And a great nation he promises people through Abraham. That's America, United States of America, a great nation. Same people, white man. They were like the sands of the sea and the stars of the sky from multitude. That's the white man. He's a major population group in this world, millions. Every promise that God gave Israel, that's the white man. He's Israel. And the way the world is today, our reality is based on these promises God gave his people. And that's the reality we live in. That's the reality that's what our reality is based in, these promises of God to his people. And what we see today is the world trying to get back what God has gave to his people by any means necessary. Maybe not by any means, because they're not trying to do it by force. They're just walking on in to the territory God has given his people to become a great nation and a multitude of nations, just walking right on in and taking it. And the reason why they're doing that is because the white man, Israel, don't know who he is and what God has given him and what he has, and let them do it. Just walk on in. You ain't got to fire one shot, one bullet. You ain't got to make one war. Just walk on in and seize it. And what does Israel do? He let them go ahead and do it. That's the issue I have with God's people concerning the promises of God. They're being bad stewards with the promises God has given them because they're not aware that Satan is trying to get this territory back, and he's doing it very subtly, sending his people in to occupy the land to the point where you either take it back or they're going to have it. And we see over in Europe now that that's the case, that these people just walked on in so much that Europe is on the brink of falling from the white man to the invaders that have came there to take the promises of God out of the white man's hands. And that's my issue with them. They need to wake up and realize who they are and maintain what God has given them and appreciate what God has given them and honor who he is and who they are, because God let them go ahead and have it. Take it from them for not honoring him and what he's done for them, acknowledging him as being the source of their supply, and everything that they have came from him and his word. And what they are today is based on what he said and nothing about them. So they have a choice. Acknowledge who they are, that God is the source of their power, take back what God has given them, which I think is being done today. And I thank God for that. I see in America that Israel is rising up and taking back their land in America by any means necessary. God's not going to allow his promises to fail until he's ready for them to fail. No matter what the white man do, he can let them walk in, he let people walk into his promises and try to take them, but they didn't come about by his power. They came about by God's power. And God's not going to let it happen. His word is going to stand no matter what. No matter what happens, America will always be a great nation, and Britain will always be a Commonwealth of nations, because God going to make sure it stands that way. Nothing can make it fall, because God's word made this happen and nothing else. No matter what happens, America going to be a great nation, and England's going to be a Commonwealth of nations, because God said it. And if he said it, can't nothing topple it. Can't nothing destroy it. And we're seeing it today how America is making sure America stays America, because God is putting in their spirit the power to raise up and fight Satan back. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, is I'm sitting here watching the world encroaching in on Israel's territory, where God has given them his promises. And I'm watching how it all plays out, because God has said what he has said in his promises. And if they fall, God couldn't keep his word. And now we see things turning the tide. You see the white man starting to wake up and realize that there's something wrong here, that we're being conquered. And that's God raising up, saying, my word is going to prevail, even though my people don't know I'm working through them. And I feel bad about the people that are doing this, because when you wake up a sleeping lion, he's going to tear us up some hide when he gets up on his feet and starts to run around in anger and terror. You don't want to see a lion running around. He tears everything in sight until he has ripped everything apart before he lays back down. And you don't want to upset the white man too much, get him mad, because you're going to see a terror that you don't want to see. And I think that's what the world's going to experience, the anger of the white man, because God's going to stir them up. And they finna tear a hole in everything that's around them that is bothering them. Like a lion that won't lie down until everything is being ripped apart. So next few days, few weeks, get prepared for some tearing and some ripping and some white man's finna tear some apart. And I'm gonna get my popcorn, I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna see, look at God go. And my book, Why the White Man Rule, explains all these truths. And I love the fact that it's here and that people can buy it and read it and understand what's really going on. Satan ain't gonna get it. He don't get back what was taken. He can try all he want. It ain't gonna happen.